why do you think this guy left behind such a lasting legacy?
I think a lot of it is he's just. I mean, he's hilarious. Like
Yeah.
he did. There were a lot of, but even in some of the great roles where he was just super funny, he was also like he had some great like serious moments in him too. Not that we need to get into like the movie because we'll talk about it, but it's just I think some of his roles they just became so iconic. And then I think on top of it, you now have just with streaming, what you're starting to see is you're starting to see a new generation, sort of like what just happened with The Office, is like a revival of some of his stuff. And I think since we're coming up on Thanksgiving, the all-time greatest Thanksgiving movie is
You're right.
on this list.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. I think there's not too many movies dedicated to Thanksgiving. I think there's a horror movie that recently came out actually called Thanksgiving, but besides that, you don't really get a whole lot of Thanksgiving classics. So, Greg, let's go to you. John Candy, when you think of him or his movies, what comes to mind?
Yeah, just he had this everyman quality to him as well. It's just like he was just like a lovable guy, and from everything that you hear and see, and I watched a little bit of the documentary that's on Prime too, the I Like Me documentary. I mean, he to a person was just a very genuine human being, and kind of like was very much like who he was on screen. Like the tender side of that was really him in real life. So all his movies were fun. They always made you laugh. Like Brett said, like, he had a human quality to them too, that brought out other emotions, but, just a likable guy. Like my kids started watching John Candy movies when they were, you know, 7, 8 years old, and they love him to this day. So it's just that he relates to every age.
No doubt, no doubt. And he had, he had one of the, you could put it up there in one of the all-time greatest runs in movie history from like the mid 80s to like early 90s. Just an unbelievable run.